Tom Nolan versus Charlie Campbell. AJ, I told you before, I was really big on Charlie Campbell on his Dana White Contender Series debut. He ended up losing the fight, but still in impressive fashion. Impressive enough fashion where you got yourself a contract, and now you find yourself 2 fighters coming off of a 3-fight win streak. The winner likely is going to earn like a fringe top 20, top 30 fight, I would imagine, a booking of that caliber. And the loser is probably just, you're stuck. You're relegated on these prelims. It is what it is. What do you like about these fighters, man? What stands out to you about this matchup?
Ooh, Derek. I mean, I think what stands out to me most about this matchup is these fighters are fighting so early in the career. I'm expecting rematches from this one here in the future, Derek, because both of them are very, very talented. In fact, when I looked at this card, at least at the start, I was leaning a little Tom Nolan, but doing more research, I could see how both fighters have a path to win on each side, right? You got Nolan, long strikes, like to mix it up, very, very well-rounded as well, and creative kicks whenever you're able to give him some space. And what I like most about Campbell, this man has pressure, brother. Very technical, hits hard, good takedown defense. Both of them are well-rounded, but they have, like I said, distinctive ways in which they can actually go about and implement their game.
And both of these guys are finishers, man. 86% finish rate between the two fighters right here. I think it's very simple. Charlie Campbell needs to close the distance, and he needs to be a boxer puncher in this fight, realistically. Tom Nolan, he has a lot of weapons at his disposal. Tall southpaw, step-in knees, elbows, kicks, whatever the case may be. So that's really going to be the battle right here. Range management. Can Charlie Campbell put that pressure on without getting caught with something, right? When I take a look at like the most used weapons, generally speaking, I think Charlie Campbell is going to implement that calf kick, brother. Let's talk about that. If you want to beat Tom Nolan, you have to take away his mobility, right? You have to take his ability to move away. That way you could pressure in, you can close that distance with far less consequences, right? I think he can do it. I think Charlie Campbell, I'll just say this. We didn't even talk about the odds right here. Let's talk about the opening odds right here. FanDuel exclusive right here, minus 162 for Tom Nolan, plus 126 for Charlie Campbell. Not the biggest dog in the world, not the biggest favorite, but I think there is some live money coming on Charlie Campbell this way. It's just a matter of how disciplined can you be, how often can you stay in that pocket without getting hit by something big, because the check right hook that Tom Nolan has to offer, it could be some problems right here. So that's pretty much how I see it. I think that there's going to be not really too much grappling in this matchup, but who's the better kickboxer and or boxer? How you see it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Derek. My thing is who's going to have the moments when they're hitting harder, when they get the more oohs and the ahs, and then who does that at a higher clip. That's really going to be the thing, because both fighters are going to have their moments, right? They're both very, very talented and have a good way to offset each other. So it's whoever's the one, kind of like how we were watching last week with Rob Font versus Martinez, man. The more big moments you have, that's who's going to win this fight. And I think that's why the odds makers have this one very, very close. And even a lot of the props are looking a little different up here, man. So it's interesting to see how the future is going to go with this one right here.
Yeah. I mean, let's take a quick look here. Let me see where we got Tom Nolan at. I'll go ahead and I'll pull up all of our props. All right, man. So let's see what we got. All right, Tom Nolan knockout plus 210, Charlie Campbell knockout plus 300 points, plus 275 for Nolan, plus 450 for Campbell. I mean, they're liking Nolan here. They're liking. I don't see a submission coming into play, but I do see a knockout coming into play if Charlie Campbell can punch with Tom Nolan. Orthodox southpaw matchup right here. If you punch with him, I think he can catch him, because Tom Nolan, being as tall as he is, has a little bit of a problem of hanging that chin just in the air. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem for all really tall, lengthy fighters who have to stop somebody from coming under, man. The best way to come up is through that chin. It's automatically high because they're tall. So this is interesting, because you hit the nail on the head, Derek. Plus 200, at least what I'm looking over here on FanDuel. Both the Tom Nolan and the Charlie Campbell knockouts are the best odds that people, or at least odds makers, think are going in. And I was looking at the over under, man, it's a 1.5. It's close to a minus money for the over, but it's like minus 154 on FanDuel. So a lot of people think this fight is going to be kind of that classic washing machine, like a fire fights fire one right here. I don't know. Are you leaning towards one specific odd or not?
You know, I think that we're going to see a finish here. I think we might see a late finish. So I would take under 2.5 rounds personally, if I'm taking a look at this one. And again, if we're looking at it here, I'm just going to use Bet Online just for the sake of the argument right here. Minus money is under 2.5 rounds right there. I think minus 160 is like a touch steep. it's a touch steep. But when you have such a high finish rate between these two and two dudes with this fight style, that's how I like to see it right there. My play is going to be Tom Nolan on this one. I like the taller southpaw fighter who just has a couple more weapons. I think Charlie Campbell has really no choice but to just try to cut the distance and box with him. Tom Nolan can play the outside game, hit and not get hit. And if you play smart enough, we got a victor right there. How you seeing it, AJ?
I'm rolling with the dog, Charlie Campbell. I think he's going to get on the inside, beat up those legs like Derek's talking about, and make this a very dirty fight. Because one of the ways, especially lately, how the UFC judging has been going, you need to be putting action in, and Charlie Campbell's about that action. I'm going money line for him, though, because any odds you take him, it's going to be working.
And let's just see how these odds change closer to the fight, because I think we're going to get much closer to even money personally. But you got yourself a pick, first contentious pick of the night right there, folks.